Hello friends, this is CA Sameer Totle and I welcome you to the second lecture of Masters of Accounts series. In the last lecture, in the previous lecture, we had looked into what is an account. Now we are going to look into what are the types of accounts. See, it is imperative for us to know what are the types of accounts, and because unless and until we know what are the exact types of accounts, will not be in a position to pass on journal entries at all. So our aim is each one of you should be so very perfect with passing journal entries that you should not require help of anyone, any book, any previous questions to pass any journal entry you are facing. So for that, friends, we need to go to the basics, and the basics starts with accounts. So the second step is types of accounts. So let us now understand what are the types of accounts. See, basically what we used to feel is there are three types of accounts. No, friends, there are mainly two types of accounts. One is personal, the other one is impersonal. So mainly there are two types of accounts: personal, impersonal. Impersonal account has two subtypes. They are known as real and nominal. Okay, so we arrive to a conclusion that there are three types, that is personal, real and nominal. Let us go back to the previous lecture and try to remember what was the definition of an account. An account is a summarized record of all the business transactions relating to a particular person, particular thing, or a particular item of income or expense. So these are the three types of accounts. Accounts dealing with person are personal accounts, accounts dealing with things are real accounts, and accounts dealing with income or expense are nominal account. Now personal accounts also have subtypes, friends. Now what are those subtypes? The first subtype is natural personal account. Now what is natural person? Any person who is born naturally, a person like you and me, is said to be a natural person account. Okay, so first is natural person. If you remember in the previous lecture, we had looked into 9 types of a person. One of them was natural person, and all the others were not natural. They were either created by law or human being. So they are said to be artificial or legal personal accounts. Artificial or legal personal accounts deal with persons other than natural person. Okay, the persons which are created by law or by some person. And last is group or representative personal account. So this is a account which denotes a group. Instead of remembering each one's name in the group, you give it a common terminology, and that is said to be a group or representative personal account. Now in real accounts there are two types. We have been through personal accounts. Now let's move on to real accounts. In real accounts there are two types. One is tangible, the other one is intangible. Tangible accounts, listen carefully. Tangible accounts are accounts of those goods or things which can be seen, felt, and touched. And intangible accounts are accounts of those things which cannot be seen, felt, or touched, but they are still there. They are there, but you cannot see, feel, or touch it. For example, goodwill of a person, it's there, but you cannot see it, right? And nominal accounts deal with incomes or expenses, various kinds of expenses a business makes and various kinds of incomes a business receives. So let's move on, friends, with this concept. So first type of account was personal account. As I said, personal account deals with a person. Now the first type is natural person. It's Sami's account, Shlok's account, Radha's account, even capital account. In capital account is also a natural person account. Okay, now why is it a natural person account? Let us have a look at it. Okay, see, suppose this is the owner or proprietor of the business. He has invested money in the business. Now, business calls this person not by the name as owner, but it calls it by the name capital for money invested in the business. So, capital represents whom? Owner. So, some writers say capital is a natural person, some writers say feel it is a representative personal account. Okay, but let us look at it as natural person because any owner, any businessman is a natural person. Okay, even drawings would be then the same. Now let's move on to artificial or legal personal account. Now what is artificial or legal personal accounts? So these are accounts otherwise than the persons which are natural persons. So whom are they? The first is partnership firm. Partnership firm where two or more people come together to carry out business together with the aim of earning profit. So that is a partnership. Example: Surana Totle and Associates account, Ramdev and Sons account, Messrs. Raman Lal and Company account. All accounts, in simple words, all account with and sons and brothers and associates are all partnership firm. Then next is company. All of us know there are many joint stock companies, private limited companies as well as public limited companies. So if you are dealing with them, then that is company's account. Say Reliance Industries Limited, Tata Steels Limited, Ratan Steels Private Limited, etc. Now cooperative societies. Now cooperative societies, generally the societies in which you stay are all cooperative societies. For example, Nirman Niketan Cooperative Housing Society, Nifad Cooperative Sugar Factory. There are in and around Maharashtra, there are a lot many sugar factories which are cooperative in nature. Then cooperative societies, cooperative banks, Jan Lakshmi Cooperative Society. So these are all cooperatives account. Then clubs. Clubs are basically created for recreation or promotion of any art form, okay, or game. So Rotary Club, Lions Club, Cricket Club, etc. Trusts. These are mainly NGOs whose aim is to carry out some or the other kind of a social activity. So Shirdi Sai Baba Sansthan account, Reliance Educational Trust account, etc. Dhirubhai Foundation, educational institutions. So it deals with schools, colleges, and other educational institutions. Nirmala Convent High School account, Pune University account, Maratha Vidya Prasarak Mandal account, etc. Banks. So all the types of nationalized and what you call it as uh, commercial banks, all the type of nationalized and commercial banks would come under this head: SBI, HDFC, Bank of Baroda, etc. And governmental bodies, government carries out its work through these bodies. So Nasik Municipal Corporation account, Maharashtra State Electricity Board account, Maharashtra State Road and Tourism Corporation account. So all these are the different types of artificial or legal personal accounts. I want you to go through it once. I've just kept them for you. Go through them once and let's move on. Now, group or representative personal account. Now, what are these accounts? So, these are the accounts which denote a group. Suppose I have to receive money from daters. There are 10 different daters from whom I have to take money for goods sold to them. I can name them as sundry daters account. So, it is the name of a group. Instead of remembering one person, I can remember them as a group. Let us take, for example, I have to receive free fees from Mr. A. This is Mr. A. This is the business. Business has to receive fees from Mr. A, but Mr. A right now is not in a position to pay the fees. So Mr. A becomes my debtor. Simple. Now I have to receive fees from him. He has not yet paid it, so it becomes my debtor. So now I draw his account and I have to remember for lifetime that I have to receive fees from Mr. A. He is my debtor for fees. He is my debtor for fees. He is my debtor for fees. Instead of remembering it in this manner, the easiest way out I have is I represent A by some other name. Sir, what other name can I represent A by? I can call him as accrued rent account, accrued fees account over here. Sorry, I can rename Mr. A by accrued fees account. So business will not have to remember for what purpose money is to be received from A. You will always remember it. We'll rename A by accrued fees account. Accrued fees account would represent A. So it is a representative personal account. Let us take other example. Suppose Mr. Ram is working for the business. We had to pay him wages, but because of Corona, there were no sales which we could affect in this month, and we are not in a position to pay his wages. So now Ram becomes our creditor. So Ram is our creditor. Now we'll have to remember it that we have to pay wages to Ram. Ram is a creditor for wages. Ram is a creditor for wages. So instead of carrying that headache, we can represent Mr. Ram by the name outstanding wages account. Wages due but not paid, that is outstanding wages account. Expenses due but not paid are outstanding expenses account. So simple. So this becomes a representative personal account for Ram. So all outstanding expenses, all prepaid expenses, all accrued incomes and all pre-received incomes are group or representative personal accounts. It will also include accounts like sundry debtor and sundry creditors as well. Now let's move on to the next type. Next type of account is real account. Real account deals with what? It deals with things. Okay. Now things can be tangible or they can be intangible. Tangible is something which you can see, feel or touch. See, feel or touch. It includes machinery, furniture, stock, etc. And intangible are the things which you cannot see, feel or touch. It will include patent, trademark, copyright, goodwill, etc. Okay. And the last type is nominal. Nominal account basically deals with accounts of incomes and expenses. Various kinds of incomes a business earn and various kinds of expenses a business spends. Now these are also called as unreal accounts. Nominal accounts are also called as unreal accounts. These are accounts for either income or expenses. Income may be commission received, rent received, etc. Expenses may be salary, wages, repairs, maintenance, electricity, etc. Okay, so now let's go for a fast recap and then we'll go for classification of accounts. See students, what I would be doing is I'll be classifying a few accounts for you and I'll be giving you the remaining accounts for homework. These accounts would be given to you in form of an Excel sheet along with this video as well, and I'm going to show you all these accounts. You can take a screenshot of all these accounts, classify it properly on your own, and then in the next video we'll be discussing this classification. Is it compulsory to do it? Yes. If you want to attend my next lecture, you have to do this homework, because unless and until you classify them on your own, you'll never understand exactly what are the types of accounts. So it's a small bit of a homework. It will not take more than half an hour or 40 minutes on your part. I want each one of you to do it. So let's go for a fast recap. फटाफट से देख लेते हैं. Let's move on. What are the types of accounts? There are two main types of accounts: personal, impersonal. Impersonal has two subtypes: real and nominal. So there are three types: personal, dealing with person; real, dealing with things; and nominal, dealing with income or expenses. The nominal accounts are also called as unreal accounts. Nominal accounts are also called as unreal accounts. Now personal accounts has three subtypes: natural persons, it deals with human beings; artificial or legal person, these are the persons created by human beings or by law. It includes business partnership firms, companies, cooperative societies, clubs, trusts, educational institutional, governments, bodies, banks, etc. And last and most interesting is group or representative personal account. These are the accounts denoting a group, or these are the accounts which represent a particular person. All outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued incomes and pre-received incomes are group or representative personal account. Let me tell you once what these are. Outstanding expenses, expenses due but not paid. Okay, accrued income, income due but not received. Prepaid expense, expense paid but work is not yet done. And pre-received income, income received but we have not worked for the person. Okay, so these are all the accounts relating to a person, but we are representing them by these names. Okay, now the next is real account. Real account has two subtypes: tangible and intangible. Tangible are those which you can see, feel and touch, and intangible are those things which you cannot see, feel or touch. And in nominal, you have two main nominal deals with incomes and expenses of various types. Now let's move on. We are going to classify these accounts. I want each one of you to pay attention now. I'm going to classify a few for you and the others would be your homework. Okay, and you have to do it. The next video will be relating to classification of these other accounts. ABC partnership firm. Now what is its type? So it is what? It is artificial legal personal account. So we'll name it as personal account. You have to classify it into real, nominal, personal only. If you want, you can write it in bracket what is the subtype. The subtype is artificial or legal personal account. Then let's move on to accrued rent. Rent due but not received. It is representing a person. So it is again a personal account. What type? It is group or representative personal account. Now next is audit fees. Audit fees are what? Basically, these are the charges to be paid to a CA for checking of accounts. So that is charges, expenses, so nominal account. Next is Board of Cricket Control of India. Obviously, this is a person. And what kind of a personal account it is? Artificial or illegal. Bad debts account. Now, what is bad debts? It is a loss. People are not paying your debts. That is a loss for you. So, again, it becomes nominal. Clear? You are going to finish off this table. It has roughly 125, 130 odd accounts. You have to classify all of them. I'm keeping them. You can take a screenshot and move on. Or in the description, I'll be attaching the Excel sheet. You can go through that as well. Okay. There will be account you will find by the name machinery upkeep. So friends, upkeep means maintenance. Okay, repairs and maintenance. Okay, remember it. Upkeep is repairs and maintenance. Okay. So these are the accounts. You just have to classify them. Next lecture will be looking into what are the classification of these accounts. If there are any doubts, you can very well message to me. My number will be given to you in the description box. And if you like this lecture, please do subscribe this channel and you will be getting more and more such videos. Okay, have a very good day. Be safe.